village crown court and saw his legal defense team tear shreds off of the U.S. prosecution team. It was embarrassing to the United States and really to the British government to watch their whole case get dismantled in front of a live audience. But that had no bearing on the ruling at the end. And at the end, he was marked for extradition. So, and I could talk about Bradley Manning, former Bradley Manning, now Chelsea Manning. I could talk about Chelsea Manning's case in the same light. So, this is where things stand right now. And there's a lot of concern, and we'll speak to our other guests here, there's a lot of concern that he might die while incarcerated. An unconvicted prisoner, 4 years in Belmarsh. They couldn't put an ankle tag on him and let him stay outside. He's not a flight risk. He is the most recognized, one of the most recognized people on the planet. He's not going anywhere. So why does he need to be held? Multiple violations of basic rights. His legal team throughout this process, especially early on while preparing his defense, was not given access to him, nor he to them. His legal notes were taken from him by the court security contractors. I believe they work for Securicore, I'm not sure. Or no, what's the name of not G4S, the Serco, sorry. So at every turn, all of his rights have been violated. It's unbelievable to watch it play out in broad daylight. And so a lot of people believe that if he is extradited to the United States, that his case will collapse against the U.S. Constitution. Getting a prosecution under the Espionage Act is near impossible. The bar is so high, and nothing that Julian Assange is being accused of can ultimately raise to that. But I don't think that's the strategy, personally, of the U.S. government, of its partners, the British government. It's a war of attrition, and the ultimate victory, if you will, for those who want to persecute and prosecute and imprison Julian Assange is to wear him down, his family, his supporters, his legal team, and ultimately him in the end, in his health, in his mental well-being. So, and who knows how long with appeals in the U.S., another 10 years. And what is the crime exactly? It's not clear what the crime is. So there's a lot at stake here for the free press, what's left of the Fourth Estate, for independent journalists, but really for your right to know, for our right to know what is being done in our name around the world, or if something is corrupt or illegal that's happening, we have a right to know. And if the controlled mainstream media is not going to do the job of basic journalism and hold power to account and speak truth to power, and organizations like WikiLeaks or other independent websites are willing to do that, what does it say about our society that we're not willing to protect the basic rights of freedom of the press and free speech for those who are trying to hold power to account? What does that say about the state of our society, of our Western civilization at this point in the 21st century? These are really profound questions. I want to open it up to Tracy and Jason as well. We'll start with Tracy.
Hi. Basically, I'm going to kind of speak, I suppose, more from a personal level, in that why I was involved in the beginning, because actually I was a campaigner in food and farming, but I was quite used to coming up against the government and seeing how they really were not concerned about our health or the health of the biodiversity or the health of the planet or food or anything, and how the mainstream media wasn't taking any notice of our pleas to expose all of the poisons that we're eating. So a friend of mine said, come on, you're a rebel, help Julian, be a surety. Now a surety means you have to put up some money to give him bail, because he quite often, quite obviously hadn't done anything wrong, in my opinion, and so this because I live quite near to the Ecuadorian embassy, I used to go and see him, and I used to have kind of long conversations, and we were on exactly the same page. I had huge respect for this man. He's a total hero. And so occasionally I would be asked to speak, but very, very short, so I'm not really very experienced of updating you on exactly what happened and what's happening now, but I'll just keep you sort of in the loop of what is going on. I mean, for example, his dad, who used to stay with me, warned Julian. He said, watch out, you're really, really going to be in big trouble with what you're doing. But again, he trusted the UK system, the judicial system, that is totally and utterly corrupt. Let's just see what else I have. Another thing that I respect Imran Khan hugely, and he was one of the people that Julian interviewed. So the people who Julian interviewed in a series of TV programs were the heroes of this world. And I read Imran Khan's autobiography, and he said that a lot of the things that he was accused of, he was, by friends, of being conspiracy theories. The facts that Julian revealed proved that actually they were true. So Imran Khan was incredibly thankful, and he said a hell of a lot of people would have been freed from jail sentences thanks to what Julian received, and I mean across the world. Okay, so although the lie that he has put a lot of our special operatives, spies, into jeopardy is also not true, because I had a meeting with an ambassador, and he said, oh, you know, Julian has really been so troublesome. I had to tell all the spies I was working with, he was the ambassador, to leave the country. Well, it's like, big deal. You know, get them to leave the country and absolutely see what this guy has done for telling the truth of war crimes, violations of human rights, torture, and we go on making these wars, and Julian had the genius of getting all of the newspapers to actually tell the truth. And that's why he's in such trouble, because he actually is an extraordinary character. And all of these goddamn smears, whether it's rape, which is total bollocks, it's absolutely typical of what they do to smear people, but also they try to say, oh well, he's not got good manners or whatever. I'm sorry, no, he's not a raconteur and a joker. He's an extremely serious man, a genius. I mean, really extraordinary man, that I reckon that if we could possibly gather together emails, contact numbers, and you could give it to us or any of us here, we are planning to do something that will help him make a noise, but that he's inside jail. But we need to push constantly that we care. We need to keep it in the media, even if the mainstream media don't report on it. The social media, we have this little window where we have absolutely brilliant sites like Patrick Henningsen's brilliant. They report all the time. Follow Consortium News. Follow Don't Extradite Assange. Follow what you need to do to help him get out. Now let's just see if I had any more. So I'm the godmother of one of his children, and I'm a great friend of Stella. She's an incredible woman, absolutely amazing. She was employed by WikiLeaks back when he was on bail in Norfolk, where he has to report every day to the police station. So she's followed all of what he's revealed, all of that information. So she's unbelievably knowledgeable. She's totally and utterly in love with him, and she's got two of the most adorable children. I tell you, she is so articulate, she is so dedicated that actually she's keeping him alive, because he is truly suffering in jail. I occasionally go and see him. I went not so long ago. Hardly recognize him from that ravishing boy we see in the posters. He's not well. He's basically explained to me how, when I told him when I had to go through all of the sort of preparations mentioned before I went to the jail. For example, you can't have anything ripped in case you're bringing in drugs. You can't wear open shoes. You have to go through. They have to sort of frisk you or whatever it is. You go through about 5 different rooms with huge metal doors and locks and finger testing, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. But he said, well, I can't tell you what I had to go through. There's 3 rooms I have to go in and be frisked and searched and basically waiting for a very, very long time. It sounded like it was sort of like 3 hours for him to then, he was waiting in there. And sometimes when I go, he's actually waiting at the door. You never quite know, he never quite knows what is going on. But Stella, she goes and sees him, and he's his children, obviously, and letters to him in the jail. You know, there's a hell of a lot that we can do to keep that candle lit for him to realize that there is an incredibly important message of free speech that he does represent. Because I think he's been so broken, what is it, like 13 years of equivalence in jail, from Norfolk to 8 years in the Ecuadorian embassy where he never saw sunlight. It was like horrific. And then they drag him out, and now it's 4 years in Belmarsh. So he's at the end of his tether. But your letters, your caring, your standing outside of Westminster, did you see that? That demonstrate, come and join us, please, because it actually does keep it in the mainstream media, keep his heart thinking that it's worth staying alive. Because, and the other thing is that Caroline Kennedy, who's the ambassador for America in Australia, she actually spoke to Biden, and she's discussing, and Albanese is the president of Australia, about having a plea bargain. Now, a plea bargain, obviously it's a crime because he didn't do anything wrong. Why should he admit to anything? But if it got him out of really, 175 years that they potentially have got of so-called espionage crimes, which is obviously a total lie. But they can get it because they're so corrupt with just all of the judges in America and here. They're bought off. You can see it. So Julian still does apparently believe in the judicial system. But outside, we've got to do more than trust the judicial system because it's let him down time and time again. So I think that's probably all I'll rant about. But anything, please ask us questions. Thanks.